Good day everyone. Today I'll be discussing my 5 pick items in our problem set compilation. The first topic I pick is the volumes of solid by slicing disc, washer, and cylindrical shell. And my first problem is the cylindrical shell. So find the volume generated by revolving about the y-axis. The area bounded by the curve y is equal to sine x over x in the coordinate axis. So first, let's graph this. So let's graph. Since it's revolving about the y-axis, pi over 2, negative, then here, pi over 2, then pi, then here is 1, 2. So negative 1, negative 2. Then let's graph. Since it's sine x over x, so here in 1, then since it's sine x over x, so half, so this is the volume of one cylindrical shell. Y is equal to sine x over x. Then let's solve the problem. So first, we identify the formula to be used. So the formula of this cylindrical shell is V is equal to integral of 2 pi x f of x dx from A to B. Then let's identify our f of x. And our f of x is sine x over x. Sine x over x. And our upper bound and lower bound is x is equal to pi and x is equal to 0. And now let's substitute this in our equation or formula. So V is equal to integral of 2 pi x, and our f of x is sine x over x dx from 0 to pi. Then let's factor out the constant or the 2 pi. So we have V is equal to 2 pi integral of, since x and sine x over x, so we can simplify it by cancelling the x. So we have 2 pi integral of sine x dx from 0 to pi. Then V is equal to 2 pi. Then the integral of sine x dx is negative cosine x from 0 to pi. Then let's apply the boundary. So v is equal to 2 pi and negative cosine 0 or pi rather, negative cosine pi minus negative cosine 0. So let's proceed here. So v is equal to 2 pi. Then let's get the negative cosine pi. So we have calculator here. So we have negative cosine pi. Post. So let's proceed here. So b is equal to 2 pi. Then we get the negative cosine pi, which is 1. Then minus, and the value of negative cosine 0 is negative 1. So negative 1. Then and the value of negative cosine 0 is negative 1. Then let's simplify. b is equal to 2 pi 1 negative minus times minus 1, negative 1 is positive 1. Then simplify again. 2 pi 1 plus 1 is 2. Then and our final answer is 2 pi times 2 is 4 pi. So our volume is 4 pi. So now, let's proceed to our second problem with the topic of length of arc of the graph of function. One branch of the curve 9y squared equals 4x cubed from x equals 0 to x equals 3. First, let's graph our function 9y squared equals 4x cubed with the table of values. So first, to determine the y coordinate, let's substitute the coordinates of x into our function. So 9y squared equals 4, then our x is 0, so 4. So let's write it here. So we got, so our function is 9y squared equals 4x cubed, then our x is 0. Then let's substitute it into our function. So we have 9y squared equals 4 and our x is 0 cube. Then 9y squared equals 4 times 0, so we have 9y squared equals 0. Then square it both sides, So we have 3x equals 0, then all over 3, then we got x is equal to 0. So our y coordinate is 0, so we have 0, 0. Now let's proceed to x is equals to 1. Then substitute it into our function. 9y squared is equal to 4, and our x is 1 cube, so we have 4 times 1, 9y squared. Then simplify, so we have all over 9, so y squared equals 4 over 9, then square both sides, so we have y is equal to 2/3. So our y coordinate is 2/3. Then let's proceed to 2. X is equal to 2. Nine y squared is equal to 4 times 2 cube. 2 cube is 8. So we have 4 times 8 is 32. Then divide to 9 both sides. So y squared is equal to 32 over 9. Then square both sides. So we have y is equal. So our y is the square root of 32 over 9. So we have 16, square root of 16 times 2 is 32 over square root of 9. So our y coordinate is the square root of 16 is 4, then square root of 2, then square root of 9 is 3. So our y coordinate in x is equal to 2 is 4 square root of 2 over 3. Then let's proceed to x is equal to 3. So 9y squared equals 4, and our x is 3, then cube. 9y squared equals 4 times 3 cube is 27. So 27 times 4 is 108. Then 9y squared equals 108. Then over 9 we have 9 squared equals 108 over 9. And to simplify, 108 over 9 is 12. Then square both sides. So we have y is equal to 2 square root of 3, because square root of 12 is square root of 4 times 3. then square root of 4 is 2, then square root of 3. So we have 2 square root of 3. Then lastly, x is equal to 4. Then our function is, or the equation is, nine y squared equals 4 x cubed. Then our x is 4. Then 4 cubed is 64, and 4 times 64 is 256. 9 y squared, then over 9, we have y squared equals 256 over 9 . 56 over 9, then square both sides. So y is equal to, the square root of 256 is 16, and the square root of 9 is 3. So we have y equals 16 over 3. 16 over 3. So we have our table of values. Then let's locate the x and y coordinate to graph the function. So first is 0 and 0 here, then 1 and 2/3. 2/3 is using calculator. 2/3 is 0.6. So 1 and 2/3. So here positive and negative, there and there. Then 2 and 4 square root of 2 over 3. 2, then 4 square root of 2 is in 1.88. So 2, then positive and negative, 1.88. Then 3 and 2 square root of 3. Then using calculator, 2 square root of 3 is 3.46. So we have 3 in x and 3.46 in y. 3.46. 3 and 3.46. And lastly 4 and 16 over 3 is 5.33. 4, then 5.33. 6, 4, then 5.33. there and here. Then connect them all. Before using the formula of length of arc, let's get first the quantity squared of f prime of x by getting the f of x and the first derivative. So our equation is 9y squared equals 4x cubed. Nine y squared equals 4x cubed, and by getting the f of x is we need to equate this equation. So divide both sides by 9. Y squared equals 4x cubed over 9. Then square both sides. So y equals the square root of 4 is 2. Then the square root of 9 is 3. And square root of x cubed or 2/3 and x to the power of 3/2. So our function is y equals 2/3 x to the 3/2. This is our f of x. Then let's get the first derivative. F of x is 2/3 x to the power of 3/2. Then by getting the first derivative using power rule, so 2/3 then power rule times 3/2 x, then 3/2 minus 1 is 1/2. Then simplify, equals 2/3 times 3/2 is 6/6 x to the power of 1/2. Then cancel out, so our first derivative or f prime of x is x to the power of 1/2, or we can simply transform the exponent into radical. So we have square root of x, and so we have the f of x and the f prime of x. And now getting the quantity square of f prime of x, so we square the f prime of x and squaring the square root of x, then cancel out. So our quantity square of f prime of x is x. Then we put this in our formula, which is L is equal to integral of square root of 1 plus our quantity square of f prime of x is x, so plus x dx from our lower boundary is 0, so from 0 to our upper boundary is 3, so from 0 to 3 L is equal to integral of square root of 1 plus x dx from 0 to 3. Then to integrate this, let's use the u substitution. So let u is equal to 1 plus x, then the derivative of it is 1 or dx. Then L is equal to integral of square root of 1 plus x is u dx from 0 to 3. Then let's transform the square root of u into u to the power of 1/2 dx from 0 to 3. Then integrate using the power rule of integration. So the integral of this u to the power of 1/2 is u, then 1/2 plus 1 is 3/2 over the exponent is 3/2 or 3/2. Then the boundary from 0 to 3, then simplify this by the division of rational expression. So we can simply reciprocal the denominator and proceed to multiplication. So we have 2, the reciprocal of 3/2 is 2/3, so we have 2u to the power of 3/2 over 3 from 0 to 3. Then factoring out the constant, which is 2/3 u to the power of 3/2 from 0 to 3. Then substitute back the u into 1 plus x. So L is equal to 2/3 times the u is 1 plus x to the power of 3/2 from 0 to 3. Then we can now apply the boundaries, which is the 0 and 3. To apply the boundaries, upper boundary minus the lower boundary. So we have 2/3 times 1 plus our upper boundary is 3, and the 3 is substitute into the x. So 1 plus 3 to the power of 3/2 minus the lower boundary, which is 0, minus 2/3 times 1 plus 0 to the power of 3/2. Then simplify. 2/3, 1 plus 3 is 4. The power of 3/2 minus 2/3 times 1 to the power of 3/2. Then simplify again. 2/3, then 4 to the power of 3/2 is 4 cubed is 64, and the square root of 64 is 8. So 2/3 times 8 minus 2/3. Yeah, then 1 to the power of 3/2 is 1. Then simplify. 2/3 times 8 is 16/3 minus 2/3. So our L is, or length of arc is 14/3 and in this, our length of arc is 14/3, approximately 4.66, and that's our length of arc, 4.66. So here, the graph is the equation 9y squared equals 4x cubed, and the length of arc is 14/3. And that's all for this problem. And now for the third problem or topic is work. A spring of natural length 10 inches is such that a force of 6 pounds will stretch it 2 inches. Show that the spring constant is 3 pounds per inches, and find the work done in stretching the spring from its natural length of 14 inches. So before finding the work done, first let's find the force. Force is given, then we find the spring constant, which is the 3 pounds per inches. So F is force, 6 pounds, so 6 equals K. Then our X is 2 inches, so 2. Then to solve this, we have K equals 6 over 2, and to simplify, we have 3 pounds per inches. So our spring constant is 3 pounds per inches. And now let's find the work done in stretching the spring from its natural length. And the formula of the work done is W equals the integral of px dx from A to B. Then our K is 3, so we substitute it into our formula. You have 3x dx, and our boundaries is 0 and 4. Why 0 and 4? Because the stretch is 4, because we stretch the natural length of 10 inches to 14 inches, and that's 4 inches of stretch. So we have the boundary of 0 to 4. And now let's integrate this. W equals, we factor out the constant of 3, so we have 3 integral of x dx from 0 to 4. Then the integral of x is x squared over 2 from 0 to 4. Then apply the boundaries, upper minus lower. So 3 times upper boundary is 4 squared over 2, minus the lower boundary is 0 squared over 2. Then simplify. 3 times 4 squared is 16 over 2, minus 0 over 2. Simplify. 3 times 16 over 2 is 8, minus 0 over 2 is 0. So we only have 3 times 8, which is 24. So our work done in stretching the spring from its natural length is 24 pounds per inches. And that's all. The fourth problem or topic is integration by parts. So we have here integral of y secant squared y dy. To integrate this, we are using integration by parts, and the formula of this for this is integral of u dv equals uv minus integral of v du. Then let u equals y, then dv is the secant squared y. The derivative of y, du equals dy. Then the integral of secant squared y, which is the v, is tangent y. Then let's substitute these parts into the formula. So we have u is y, dv is secant squared y equals our u is y, then v is tangent y minus integral of v is tangent y and du is dy. So we have y tangent y minus integral of tangent y dy. So integral of y secant squared y equals y tangent y minus the integral of tangent y dy is ln of secant y. And since this integration is indefinite, so we add plus c, or the arbitrary constant. So this is the final answer for the integral of y secant squared y dy equals y tangent y minus ln of secant y plus c. And that's all. Thank you. And now the last topic is trigonometric integrals, and we have here the integral of cosine theta to the power of 7 with respect to theta. Before integrating this, we are using case 2 of trigonometric integrals, which separating one cosine. So we have integral of cosine theta to the power of 6 times 1 cosine theta. d theta. Then and separate also the exponent of cosine. So we have the quantity cube of cosine theta squared, then times cosine theta with respect to theta. Then the identity of cosine theta squared is 1 minus sine theta squared to the power of 3 or cube times cosine theta d theta. Then using substitution, let u equals sine theta, and the derivative of sine theta is cosine theta d theta. Then the integral of cosine theta to the power of 7 with respect to theta become the integral of quantity cube of 1 minus the quantity cube of 1 minus sine theta squared times cosine theta d theta. Then substitute the u and du. We have integral of quantity cube of 1 minus our u is sine theta, so sine theta squared become u squared, and the cosine theta d theta become du. Then we expand the quantity cube of 1 minus u squared, so we have the integral of 1 minus 3u squared plus 3u to the power of 4 minus u to the power of 6 du. So this is the expanded form of quantity cube of 1 minus u squared. Then distribute the integral sign to each. So we have integral of 1 or du, 1 du minus integral of 3u squared plus integral of 3u to the power of 4 minus integral of u to the power of 6, and we forgot the du to each term, so integral of 1 du minus integral of 3u squared du plus 3 plus integral of 3u to the power of 4 du minus integral of u to the power of 6 du. Now we factor out the constant. So we have integral of du minus the constant of this term is 3 integral of u squared du plus 3 integral of u to the power of 4 du minus integral of u to the power of 6 du. Then integrate each term. So the integral of du is u minus 3. The integral of u squared is u squared, then the exponent plus 1, so we have u cubed over 3 plus 3. The integral of u to the power of 4 is u to the power of 5 over 5 minus the integral of u to the power of 6 is u to the power of 7 over 7. Then simplify, so we have u minus, we cancel out the common, so we have only u cubed plus 3 times u to the power of 5 over 5 is 3u to the power of 5 over 5. Then we have 3/5 times u to the power of 5 minus u to the power of 7 over 7. Then since it is indefinite integral, so we add plus c. Then here we substitute back the u into sine theta. So we have u is sine theta minus u cube, so we have sine theta cube plus 3/5 times u to the power of 5, so we have 3/5 times sine theta to the power of 5 minus u to the power of 7 over 7. We have 1 over 7 times sine theta to the power of 7 plus c. So our final answer for the integral of cosine theta to the power of 7 with respect to theta is equal to sine theta minus sine theta cube plus 3/5 times sine theta to the power of 5 minus 1 over 7 sine theta to the power of 7 plus 3. And that's all for today. Thank you.